evening. My name is Rochelle Crump. I'm president of the National Women Veterans United, and we are a women veterans organization, and we're happy to be here tonight, and we are going to take calls on a lot of different subjects this evening. The first thing I'd like to start out by saying is I salute your service as an Army veteran. I really am proud to be among the ranks of those who have served their nation. If you have a call in that you'd like to do a shout out for someone, we'd like for you to do that shout out today. We have several topics that we'd like to talk about, different events that's coming up. As you know, we have Veterans Day in another month and a half, and we certainly want to bring attention to those things that matter to those who we serve. The National Women Veterans United was proud to host a stand-down conference for military women veterans on September the 15th, co-hosted by the Jesse Brown Medical Center Systems. And we had 118 military women veterans to come out and receive an array of services. In addition, we were able to do an assessment of those needs. Now, the stand downs used to be about those who were, and it still is, about those who are homeless or at risk of being homeless. And so that is the angle in which we use in order to be able to provide some services, bringing in the community service providers who can give them information about housing, about community resources, and also about health screening and those things that are in your daily lives that you may not necessarily know about. And so with this particular stand down, we made it as a conference as well. So with that piece, we offered information about health care for women. We talked about stress, which is basically related to a lot of ailments that many of us that are overweight and those who are not eating healthy may encounter, like diabetes is one of the main ones. And so we had the VA to provide that health screening as well, glucose and checking the blood pressures and those things pretty much that are vitals to your everyday health. And we also had clothing, and we had lunch for the ladies. We had breakfast for the ladies. We talked about nutrition. We had one of our now members, Dr. Alatoyan Hines. She's a counselor. She has 6 degrees, and she was able to share a very motivational and inspiration story about her own life. And it's just an amazing story that talks about a lot of resiliency. You know, having a mom that was 16 years old when she had her, and then she moved on in her life as she grew up to understand that education was key to a lot of her happiness and also in her career development for herself. So having 6 degrees, you know, that is something. So Dr. Hines, we salute you. She's also the chaplain of the Illinois Army National Guard. We're so proud of her, and we're certainly happy to have her as a new member for the National Women Veterans United. And so as we moved on into our stand down, AARP was a very present vendor there. They had a lot of raffles for the women, and also we had the Dignity Memorial that has a new book out talking about all of the veteran benefits as it relates to your services in the community. They've put that together, as well as a lot of burial and military honor information. So if you have something that you would like to give information on today, we want you to call us at 312-738-1060, or if you'd just like to give a shout out, that will be good as well. Now there is an event that is coming up, and I want to bring that to your attention, and primarily it is the property tax workshop that is going to be held on September the 26th at 6 o'clock p.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. and that is going to be hosted by Dr. Willie Wilson. It's for seniors, veterans, nonprofit organization, and business owners. And basically what they're saying is know your property tax options. We know that there's been a lot of changes in the assessments of properties, and some are not so happy, myself not so happy about it. So they're going to have professional tax advocates that will be available to explain your tax bill, exemptions, and appeals with free follow-up assistance. They'll be giving you a date for that. They'd like for you to bring your last tax bill in order for them to give you some information on what you need to do next. Now, that is going to be sponsored by the Property Tax and Revenue Generation Committee, is what they call themselves. Property Tax and Revenue Generation Committee, and they're working with Dr. Willie Wilson on the property tax workshops in which he has invested his time and his financials into helping those who need it. So that's going to be held at the Montford Point Marine Association on September the 26th. That's Wednesday, September the 26th at 6:00 p.m. And the address for Montford Point Marine Association is 7011 South Vincennes Avenue in Chicago. 7011 South Vincennes in Chicago. Now also we want to give you just some pre-information so you can put it on your calendar, and that is the Veterans Appreciation Dinner and Dance. That's being held on Saturday, November the 3rd, 2018, and that's going to be at 5 o'clock to 8:30 p.m. And I've been invited to give some remarks at that event. I'm excited about it, at the Calumet Park Community Center. So that is located at 12633. So that's 12633 South Ashland. 12633 South Ashland in Calumet Park, Illinois. And you can always contact us. This will be on our website, the National Women Veterans website, and that website address is www.nwvu.org. And so they'd like for you to RSVP because this is a dinner, and it's free. Free. And so they want you to basically confirm your attendance by October the 15th. So you can call Cook County Commissioner Deborah Sims' office at 312-603-6381. So again, if you'd like to give us a call, a shout out, or have some information you'd like to share, call us at 312-738-1060. And then also there's another event being held on Monday, October the 8th at the Chicago Herald Washington Library. And that's at Van Buren Estate in Chicago. And it will be a host to veteran services and information sessions. And it'll be covering various service information, lots of information about mental health, homelessness, women's services. The program is free for all attendees. And that's on Monday, October the 8th at 6:00 p.m. at the Harold Washington Library. And this is something new, and this is by Dr. Jerry Field, who is spearheading this. He's also on the Veterans Advisory Council of Chicago, the Mayor's Veterans Advisory Council. He's also working with the Chicago Veterans Coordinating Committee. And this is like a new committee that they're formed in order to do a mobile movement among the libraries in order to provide information and resources to veterans in the different communities. So please come out, again, noting those events being on October the 8th. Monday, October the 8th at 6:00 p.m. at Harold Washington Library. November the 3rd. Remember, you must RSVP by October the 15th. And then, of course, September the 26th, a Wednesday, at the Montford Point Marine Association regarding the property tax workshop. Now, it was very interesting at the stand down that we had in the conference, because as I said, we have an opportunity to assess the needs of women veterans. And what we find a lot of times is that we find new veterans in the mix of holding these events in the community. So those women who may be watching, or those women who are still in need, the National Women Veterans United will be following up with them. Basically, those who had some issues that needed to be addressed, we were able to provide some services that same day for a female who was homeless. And you know, when we say right now services, we don't mean next week because today is Saturday or Sunday. We mean right now. And so I'm proud to say that our organization followed our motto, and that is right now services. And we were able to put that female veteran up for 4 days, until we were able to connect her to another service that is going to cover her until a couple of weeks, and we're going to move on at that point in time with finding her permanent housing, a service-connected disabled veteran. And when we say shame, we mean shame, that, you know, she would have to go through all of the changes that she went through relocating back to Chicago, but also understanding that, you know, everything is a little different from state to state. And so, you know, this is her hometown, and to come home to find that there were many closed doors to her in that situation was really a travesty for her. So we're going to work more with the veteran organizations and our local government and municipalities in order to make sure that those doors are always open. And it should never be an instance, even if it is on the weekend, that we should run into closed doors. So we know there's a policy and procedure for everything, but we also have to look at the circumstance. Do we really want women veterans who are disabled sleeping in their car? Do we really want that? This is a danger zone. We're in a war zone, as you know, with hijacking cars and things of that nature. Do we really want to take those risks and allow our women to have to deal with those type of circumstances when they need a roof over their head? So we want to thank those who stepped up to allow us to do that, and we always want to give kudos to the Trinka Davis Foundation that has supported the National Women Veterans United and allowed us with funding in order to do what we did this weekend. And so we'll be continuing to help women veterans as we can. Our stand down, again, as we explained to the women, was just not about giving something away. What it was about was giving information away. Information that would help them in their future to be resilient. We expect that, you know, we have women who still need a help in hand. They need a help in hand. They need help in navigating through the system. They are so frustrated with the system that it's hard to sit down when you have a veteran's voucher and you sit down and you're the one that has to call all of these places and try to get an apartment for yourself. It's like double trauma in so many ways, you know. So we can do better as a model in order to help place our homeless and our at-risk women veterans, and that's what we're going to do, and that's what NWVU is going to do. And so we're also in the process of looking for another location for our facility. We've outgrown the space that we are in right now, and so we look forward to that. If you have a shout out, give us a call at 312-738-1060. Now there's another event that's coming up. It will be held at Malcolm X College. This is going to be by the Honorable Cook County Recorder of Deeds Office, Karen Yarbrough, who is spearheading this Veterans Fair. It'll be held at Malcolm X, as noted, starting at 9 o'clock for registration. There'll be more information on her website, on the County Recorder Deeds website, and also National Women Veterans United, Malcolm X. The Allen Lynch Foundation will have it on their website as well. And we invite veterans to come out and for the day to receive additional information on various things, employment. There'll be a lot of employment information. There'll be other community providers that will also have information about housing, about employment, about healthcare screening in the community, and not necessarily related to the veterans healthcare system. And so all of those things will be very important. So if you want to give us a call at 312-738-1060, I can take probably one call before we get ready to shut down in a few minutes. And while I'm waiting on your call, I want to give a shout out to the National Women Veterans United. We had team leaders at the event, and those ladies worked hard all day to make sure that the 118 women who came, and some had children, were not standing in long lines, that they didn't have to necessarily stand and wait for anything, because we provided all those things for them. We delivered them lunch, and we want to thank the Jason Deli for preparing the lunch for us. It wasn't free, but it was good to be able to partner with them to make sure that we could get meals to them. So we were happy about the outcome. Of course, you can always do things better, and we will do things better as we continue to hear from women veterans and about the things that are most important to them. When we talk about child care, when we're talking about financial assistance, and that's what happens a lot of times. If you lose your job, or you lose your income from your veteran benefits or from a pension maybe you had, and for some reason or the other it was cut off or terminated or suspended, then it takes you anywhere from 30 to 45 to 60 days in order to get it reinstituted, and or if you receive it at all again. And so what happens a lot of times is maybe you don't have another income, and then who's going to pay your rent? Who's going to pay your mortgage? How are your lights and gas going to be on? Those type of things that really put you in a very severe and uncomfortable position with uncertainties about your future. So a lot of these agencies have monetary funds through the Supportive Services Veterans Family funds, and so we have to tap into those things. The Veterans Assistance Commission meeting is coming up, and they also have funds for Cook County veterans. That meeting is coming up on Tuesday, September the 25th at 7:00 p.m. We invite the community to come out. If you're a veteran service organization, you can join that organization, be a part of it, so that you can know exactly about what they fund, what they can assist with the rental, utilities, books, uniforms, all those things that were helpful to one who basically is going to school and or just finding a job that requires you to have uniforms and things like that. In addition, veterans information, so that's very important. So we want to again remind you of that. The Veterans Assistance Commission of Cook County meeting on Tuesday, September the 25th at 7:00 p.m. If you belong to a veterans organization, please come out and see just what we do, and then your organization is able to join as a regular member. So I know we didn't get any calls today. I've given several shout outs today. We want to remind everyone that CAN TV has veterans issues shows on Thursdays and other issues that you can watch. So thank you for watching CAN TV. I'm Rochelle Crump, National Women Veterans United. We're located at 7907 South Racine in Chicago. We're the only women veterans center in the state of Illinois. And we thank you again for watching CAN TV.